How's everybody doing on this Turkey Eve? I'm Matt Sardo. This is the panel breakdown in the Monkeys Fighting Robot studio. Today we are talking about Frank Miller's Ronin Book 2. I cannot believe how excited and how jazzed I am to talk about this comic book after reading it. I went through my pile. I had Yoda #1. I had a few other books in there, and then I got through the prologue of this book. And I flipped a page and I was like, oh my God, we have to talk about this book. So Frank Miller, Ronin Book 2. It's created and written and layouts are by Frank. Art is by Phillip and Daniel Henriques. Letter is by John Workman and artist-producer Thomas right there. Okay, the one thing that I'm going to say about this book, when I went into Sarge's Comics today, I was like, okay, I need the Frank Miller Presents Ronin Book 2. And the person behind the counter was like, yes, we have copies. We have tons of copies. They're out there. And then I went looking for it, and I was like, hey, guys, I can't find this thing. And then I went looking through the indie aisles, and I looked through other indie aisles, and we were looking, and I got a person like, yeah, we got tons of these out there. And she started looking for it, and then she couldn't find it. And then we eventually found it. It was, all under R, bottom row, because that's where it was. And it kind of just blended in with this cover. I think if the Ronin in the book 2 was like bright red, we would have seen this thing like automatically. It'd be like, oh shit, there it is right there. But I think because it's black, everything kind of blends in, and this black and white cover makes it blend in. It's not that like Frank Miller needs help for us finding books. Like, I'm going to go out of my way and I got extra people to help me find this book. But if you're a creator, you got to think about what the cover looks like in a giant stack of new release walls. And I think I even saw a retailer post like, hey, you got to think about what the cover looks like as a thumbnail image, because that's what they're looking through the previous catalog and everything else. So like, you don't have this big grandiose page to sway people to buy the book. You have like this tiny image to hook readers, and then you expand off of that. So a little bit on the cover, if you were an up and coming artist or an up and coming creator, I would probably wouldn't go with this cover. Even though this cover is amazing. This cover is batshit crazy good, but when you put it on the wall with 200 other comic books, it blends in. And you want people to grab your books. So that would be like my one thing that I would say. Everything else, this was little kid Matt going absolutely bonkers reading this book. This reminds me of Walt Simonson Thor, Todd McFarlane's Spawn, Spider-Man, and then Frank Miller's influence as well with like Sin City and all the properties that he has worked on before, Daredevil, and everything that he's brought to the table, everything he's learned, he's put into this book, and the layouts are just simply bonkers good. So the book is given a solid prelude, explains everything where you are, catches you up to book 2. I'm not going to go into this. You can get the trade and you guys can read it and go from there. But I like this page. You can list all the creators. It just sets you up for where you are and the feelings you are. The design elements of this book are top notch. Top notch. The thing that impressed me so much about this book is the scale, the scope. Everybody is huge on this page. And I'm trying to think about how big this panel would actually be if it was in like a regular comic book or if you made this like life size with everything else fitting in panels here. Like, this person is like, I don't know, maybe like 1/3 scale right now. I mean, like, it's a very in-your-face kind of thing. And this dragonfly is more than life size. I like this, the shadow, everything. The black and white just works really well. It also like gets me like drooling to see like what this would look like in color. I know somebody will do it, but like there's so much detail, so much crazy goodness in this book. I'm just drooling over it. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. But the scale, like these double page spreads, this goes throughout the whole book. And you see how the word balloons bring you to the corner, turn the page. This chaos right here. And it does it the whole time. They do this on this giant. This could be like this book could probably be like 3 pages of like tightly knit panels and words and everything like that. But like this right here just has me sitting and looking at the whole book. And I like her costume design. And you just sit there going, looking through every page. And then again, this just brings you right here. Nice rule of thirds. Everything is just beautifully laid out. All these different lines. And then this page. This right here reminds, I mean, I think like Savage Dragon did this. This is Image at its finest right here. I love this negative space for her costume. It just looks beautiful. I love the layout. It just, everything guides me right through this page. And then I start like circling back and looking at everything. Like this is just a beautiful, like I've seen Spider-Man in this pose. I've seen Spawn, Savage Dragon. I've seen so many different people in this characters in this pose. Yet it's still a glorious pose that gets you so excited. How many times I said excited right now? I think like 3 or 4 or 5. But these giant pages, it just makes it feel like a worldly like blockbuster film. The cinematographer is just going off. But these panel layouts are just glorious. This right here, like you've seen this type of panel layout, but it just works. It works so well. You know, everything kind of just like flows and brings you down into this corner. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. I do like this setup right here. Like this full panel. So if this character is so large in the panel, you're like, okay. And then you see this claw, like, what type of monster is going to be around that corner? What type of monster? I don't know. We got to flip the page. And then this person gets smaller, and you see a little bit more of the reveal, and you're like, oh man, they're still not going to show me the monster. I love how I love this flip. This flip is so good. You know, camera angle is coming at us, or camera angle is looking at them, but coming at us. And then we get the turn of the camera, like so we're like kind of behind them now. Like they were in front of us, now we're behind them, and now we get to see the monster with them. It's just set up so well. And then boom, like look at the size of our main character, and then you got the monster here. Like this is, and use the wall over here. Like everything is moving. It's ready for battle. Like it's such a good pose. I mean, if you're gonna critique, maybe you could like, it looks really good on film. This page, how this stands out from here, but like this doesn't pop as much, and separation there. But that's the least of my worries right there. And then everything is just these grandiose pages. And this is where like we're fighting a giant monster. And I'm like, oh yeah, Thor has done that a few times. I don't know what this little dude's doing, but he's like, yeah, I got this. It's a huge like anime feel to it. And like, oh man, I just sit here and I just like soak up this page. I'm just soaking up everything. And I don't think I'm actually like giving enough credit to John Workman for the lettering. Like this lettering, like everything stands out. Like it pops. All the lettering pops so well. You're reading this book and you're just enjoying yourself. Oh man. So the thing is, you go from this a whole bunch of darkness. You know, all these different dark pages, but there are some whites here and there. And so you're getting settled into this darkness and the white, and then they reverse it on you. And then like this month, like look at this page. This is Jesus Christ, guys. This is beautiful. Oh man, you got the little guy. I think it just cracks me up, the little guy just hanging on the whole time. But this monster looks beautiful. Oh man, it's just so good. Just oozing. This book is just oozing. And then you just get into this huge giant panels, and there's so much design work going on here. Negative space. Oh man, is this so good? I can't. I'm gonna say it's brilliant. It's brilliant, man. And then you finally get some action words, some sound effects, And it's just these full blown panels. Like this book is just in your face the whole entire time. Like you're tired after reading this because it's so action in your face. And you're just like, the comic book is just massive. It feels like one of those like giant size Superman versus Muhammad Ali, Superman versus Spider-Man, Treasury Edition monster comic book. Like this thing is huge. It just feels that way. Oh man, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And then this is very image like this type of panel right here, the overlapping. This like I said, it hits so many feelings. I got some like Walt Simonson feelings going on there. I got some early Image feelings. You got some Frank Miller feelings. And then you got like what's going on right now. Oh, look at this. Look at this setup, the way it goes through here, all the stuff. And then right here, there's, like the focus of the eyes, and you're like, oh shit, things have twisted here. Things have twisted. Ah, it's so beautiful. This book is just, I just keep doing kind of like this circle around all the artwork on every page. Every page is massive. Oh, look at that. I mean, like, look at all of that. And they just own it. They own it so well. Just massive pages, massive action. I think kind of everything pulls you to this corner. Like it's the lettering works so well. And each page, like I'm adding colors. I'm adding my own colors to this. I'm looking at this and just breaking it down and how they're filling in so much in the panels that they do use so much detail. And then the use of negative space is just, I'm going to say it, man. It's brilliant. It's just brilliant. It's bonkers good. And then look at that. Look at that. Oh, God. Oh, look at that shadow with the brick. You got your monster, her pose. Oh, I'm not going to give you the last page. Not going to give you the last page. But I am going to say, like, this is a must buy. It's definitely a must buy. And then they tell you, like, hey, here's where you get the first one. Everybody is like on like, I gotta wait 2 months. Hey. But no, I think everybody's going to hop on the bandwagon and it's going to sell very well. But like, this book was bonkers good. To analyze panel layout and structure is so much fun. Like, look at that. It's just, you have this massive beast that goes right through the rule of thirds very well. You got your character over here, but then you have your lettering set up. And then you have this like nice little circle of grayness. And you're like, okay, this is where you're going to put your finger to turn. But then you just kind of just sit there and you're like, look at these fingers. Look at this stuff going on here. This book is gorgeous. It's so good. All right. So basically what I'm going to say is just go out and buy this book. Like literally run to your comic book store and just buy this book. And then come back to me and tell me what you think of this book and whether you liked it or not, or what was your favorite page? That's what I want. Like, read this book and then tell me what your favorite page is, because this book is bonkers, just bonkers. So, okay, guys, we're in the final week of our Kickstarter campaign to fund the printing of Monkeys Fighting Robots, the magazine #4. This glorious cover by Jeffrey Krawczak, like, it is beautiful. Go to our Kickstarter. There'll be a link in there'll be a link in this video to go to our Kickstarter and check it out. Like I said, we have 1 week left. Let's try to see how far we can get this thing to go. It's going to be great. There's comics strips in here, and there's articles about comic books. Like, this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be so much fun. And I want you to be part of it. And right now we reached our first stretch goal where there'll be a nice little mini comic that's added to this. And then if we reach more stretch goals, there'll be more things in this book for you. Like, it's going to be really good. So check out the Kickstarter campaign. Monkeys Fighting Robots, the magazine #4. We're funding the printing of the fourth issue. It's already funded, so it's gonna happen. Now it's all about reaching more stretch goals and going further and further. So please check it out. This is a great way to support the channel. To all our new subscribers, it's amazing the feedback and the response that we've gotten from this. I'm really excited about the panel breakdown series. This is where I want to grow as a person that reads comic books. I want to like analyze panels and talk to creators and see what they're thinking about and have a conversation with you, so that like when you read your comic books, you're like, oh man, I just read this, pretty amazing. Let me give it a read through it again. And you're like, holy shit, I can't believe what they did with the color. I can't believe what they did with the lettering. Like, these are important things. And I thought it was really funny that one of the comments that I got on Twitter was, hey Matt, your review of Wildcats is really telling when all you talk about is the color and lettering. And I was like, yeah, because this isn't a review series. This is us talking about artwork. This is us talking about creators making choices, stylistic choices, and trying to influence us into certain emotional reactions from their color palette, the lettering, the panel layout, the artistic choices they make. Like, that's the conversation we're having. This is not a good versus bad thing going on here. This isn't like being like, oh man, I really don't like Spider-Man because they did this in the plot. Like, no, that's not the point. The point here is to look at some art and be like, holy shit, that was amazing. And then like, why do I feel so good about it? And I feel so good about this book because they used large panels. It was like double page spreads the whole entire time. It was somebody punching me in the face with amazing artwork for 20 something pages. And I'm like deliriously happy after I read this book because it was bonkers good for me. That's what I enjoyed. So, but for you, let me know what you thought of Ronin Book 2 in the comments below. Like this video, share it, subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're going to do a comic book giveaway, and I can't wait to mail you guys some comic books and show you what we're going to be mailing out. We'll show people what we have at 950 subscribers. So I'm Matt Sardo. Enjoy your turkey day if that's what you do. Have a great holiday. Enjoy the time off. Go to your comic book store, buy tons of comic books, and then sit on your couch and read them. Like, just do that and have fun. So take care, guys. Have a great week.